Okay, we might have a case where the Trump administration could potentially do something very good and something that's needed to be done for a long time because our air traffic control system it's ancient. We have like air traffic control towers in different states, different localities that use like different equipment and different software that's not necessarily compatible with other ones. And I remember covering this when Trump first talked about it. He said we need to modernize it. He said something along the lines of like exactly what I just said, and like this needs to be done under like one system, not like dozens. And I was like, damn, man, that sounds like it's very socialist or Democrat, progressive of you, I think is what I call it. Because if he actually did that, and we'll read a little bit about it now, I'm not going to come out here and be like, how dare you? So this might be a rare instance where I give Trump some credit. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says he wants a full modernization of the nation's antiquated air traffic control system within 4 years. On Thursday, he announced a far-reaching, estimated multi-billion-dollar plan that would drastically overhaul the current technology used by thousands of controllers responsible for guiding planes in and out of airports. Duffy and other Trump administration officials unveiled the ambitious modernization plan after several days of turmoil at Newark Liberty International Airport, one of the nation's busiest. A lot of people have said the problem is too complicated, too expensive, too hard, Duffy said at an event at Department of Transportation headquarters in Washington, D.C., but we are blessed to have a president who actually loves to build and knows how to build. I don't know about that one, buddy, but sure. He said President Trump doesn't want to pass this problem to the next administration, the next secretary, or the next set of victims. He doesn't want to pass it to the next administration, aka himself. I hope that's not the case. Duffy was cagey about saying how much the plan will cost. The House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee estimated last week that it might cost $12.5 billion to modernize the air traffic control system. Duffy said he estimates this project will cost more than that. The Modern Skies Coalition, a group of aviation industry experts, pilot association representatives, and others, issued a statement saying they believe a minimum of $18.5 billion in additional emergency funding on top of the $12.5 billion figure being floated should be appropriate over the next 3 years, and that in addition to FAA's annual technologies and facilities budget. So what? That's about like $31 billion. That's reasonable. That's less than 1% of our budget, and that is going to something super good. Like for example, we in the budget reconciliation or budget bill they're talking about right now, like we're talking $40 billion increases to border security, even though border crossings are at an all-time low, and mass deportations, which is completely inhumane, and they are not just going after violent criminals. And over $100 billion to the Pentagon, which has failed like the last 15 audits, can't account for like over half of its money that it spends, so that we can get the first $1 trillion Pentagon budget. Yeah, I think we can allocate 30 or so billion to modernize our air traffic control infrastructure. This is good. I will never complain about spending money on improving our infrastructure in some capacity, because our infrastructure, for being in the wealthiest country that this world has ever seen by far, it's laughable. I think independent gradings, like there's organizations, like independent organizations that go around and grade countries' infrastructure, and we get like, I think the most recent one was like a C minus. Like a C minus. We are the United States. We are the richest country in the world. We should not be at C minus. We should be at A plus plus plus. Like Jesus. The DOT is proposing to replace the existing decades-old telecommunications, radio, and surveillance systems, which currently rely on things like copper wires and floppy disks, with modern technology. The plan also includes investing in a new ground radar sensors on tarmacs and at airports, a new flight management system, and some new air traffic control towers and other facilities, Duffy said. One concern that just came to my mind is with modernization, like it sounds like this shit's so old, like you didn't have to worry about cybersecurity that much for your air traffic controller system. It's in the same sense that like we still use, I believe, like ancient technology for our nuclear weapons and all that, just for the fact that it can't be hacked. So with us getting more modern technology, I have a concern here because the Trump administration has made active efforts to cut our cybersecurity staff and wind down our cybersecurity operations. So just a little food for thought there that just popped in my mind. The plan will need approval from Congress, and to get this done within 4 years, the Secretary is requesting Congress to provide the funding upfront rather than incrementally. That is fair. Trump has endorsed the plan, even joining Duffy at the press conference via speakerphone. Airline executives and trade representatives attended the plan's unveiling, expressing full backing of the proposal. We can't kick the can down the road. We need to do it now, said Nicholas Callow, president of the CEO of Airlines for America, a trade association for the aviation industry. The plan comes after years of mounting problems at airports and a series of incidents just this year. In January, the mid-air collision of an Army Black Hawk helicopter and a commercial airliner near Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport led to the deadliest aviation accident in the U.S. since 2001. In the months since, multiple close calls and other crashes, as well as technology failures that led to delays and cancellations at Newark Airport, spurred officials to act. National Transportation Safety Board Chairwoman Jennifer Homendy expressed full support for the plan, saying, an aging system poses an untenable risk to safety. I said it after DCA. I'll say it again now. An untenable risk to safety. How does the chaos at Newark Airport fit into this? Bad weather, the months-long renovation of one of Newark's busiest runways for departing flights, and a shortage of air traffic controllers have led to more than a week of long delays and cancellations at the airport. On April 28th, air traffic controllers stationed at the Philadelphia Terminal Radar Approach Control Facility, which is responsible for separating and sequencing planes in and out of Newark, lost all radar communications with planes, leaving them unable to hear or talk to pilots for at least 30 seconds. That's crazy. Some controllers took leave to recover from stress of multiple recent outages, the Federal Aviation Administration said in a statement. The chaos at Newark helped highlight the aging air traffic technology the industry relies on and spurred officials to do more. To address the situation, the FAA this week announced several changes, including introducing 3 new high-bandwidth telecommunication connections between the New York station that processes radar data and Philadelphia location where controllers handle Newark's arrivals and departures. The old copper telecommunication connections will get a fiber optic technology update, allowing for greater bandwidth and speed, the agency said. Stephen Kramer. I'm sorry. Okay. The president and CEO of the Air Traffic Control Association. I'm sorry. I'm such a child. Jesus Christ. An industry group said he was encouraged by the administration's commitment to vital upgrades and bipartisan support in Congress. Today was all about the leadership. It was all about political purpose and setting the stage for all this plans to be built. I'm sorry. I can't, Kramer. I can't. Change your name, dog. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm losing my cool here. Good last name. They've taken advantage of recommendations from across the industry, he added. Now with political support, they have the shot in the arm they need to get this done. Last week, Duffy announced a new recruitment award and retention incentive program to boost hiring of controllers, but staffing is not part of the new wider proposal introduced Thursday. I wanted to bring up staffing. Along with our antiquated infrastructure for air traffic control, we also have a chronic shortage of air traffic controllers. We need to definitely open up programs to incentivize people to go through whatever the relevant training, education to become air traffic controllers. Pay needs to be raised, whatever needs to be done for this to happen. Pay for their whole education, pay for their training, whatever. Like, this needs to be addressed. And that would be pennies. Okay. When you look at like grants and, incentive programs for training and stuff, like, we're talking in the hundreds of millions. Like, we're barely breaking $1 billion here. In fact, I think we should break a couple bills and get this figured out. Like, air traffic control is not really a sought out like, it's not a job that people want to be necessarily. It is a very, very stressful job. Long hours, long work weeks, just high stress all the time. Think about the stress that you are going through every second of being an air traffic controller, especially. And that's just like under normal circumstances. Now take it that they're running at like 50% capacity. Like, I think it should absolutely also, and I hope that it is a priority to have some sort of incentives to get more people into the air traffic controller field. And now it is possible that updating a lot of these systems with better technology can help improve and take like some of the workload and maybe alleviate some of the stress in and of itself, because that's what technology is ideally supposed to do. And that's why over the past 50 years we've seen productivity skyrocket for the average worker. So yeah, that also plays a part. But like, we definitely need to hire some people. Like, don't do a big move to replace our air traffic controllers with AI. Jesus Christ, please, no. A history of problems following the recent chaos at Newark. The Trump administration has railed against former President Joe Biden and former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, blaming them for the issues with air traffic control system. This is so fucking pathetic, man. Trump took to his Truth Social account Thursday to say air traffic problems caused by the incompetent Biden administration has headed by, in this case, a total novice and political hack, Pete B. I will fix it. How does anyone support this fucking crybaby fucking loser, man? What the hell? Anytime something bad happens under his watch, he blames it on the previous administration. He just did an interview the other day where it's like, I take credit for the good parts of the economy. Any of the bad parts are from Joe Biden. And then, of course, it's impossible to find an interview with this guy not bringing up Biden and putting blame on him for something. Yeah, what a fucking loser, man. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. That's pathetic. That is absolutely pathetic. During his first term, Trump discussed possible solutions, including privatizing air traffic control. That went nowhere, thank God. The only thing I'll accept in regards of privatizing air traffic control, if it's like a private government partnership, and when we're privatizing it, it's like going to be like one or two companies. Like, there are other countries that do that well. I want to say United Kingdom's one of them, maybe Canada. Don't quote me on that. But that can work. But full privatization, no. And that's probably why it went nowhere. After taking office for the second time, the Trump administration laid off hundreds of FAA employees as a part of its federal effort to cut back on workers. Officials said controllers and other critical safety personnel were not among those laid off. Yeah, so he lays off hundreds of FAA employees, and then bad things happen, and then he blames Biden and Pete Buttigieg. But problems with the civilian aviation industry did not start with Newark, the January 29 crash at DCA, or the Biden administration. Airlines and unions have called on the government to do more for decades. Under the Biden administration, Buttigieg asked Congress to provide more funding to hire thousands of new air traffic controllers. House Republicans blocked that effort. You can't convince me that the Republican Party is just not a party of pure fucking evil. Wow. So we know for certain that it's obviously not related to the Biden administration. It's been a decades-long problem. And we know that Pete Buttigieg asked Congress for funding to hire thousands of new air traffic controllers. Not necessarily, revitalizing our infrastructure, but at least addressing the biggest part of the problem. And House Republicans blocked it. Wow. Insane. In September, the Government Accountability Office said the FAA needed to make drastic changes and fast to fix the aging air traffic control system. The report found that in the previous year, the FAA determined more than a third of its systems are unsustainable, citing outdated functionality, a lack of spare parts, and more. The report said most modernization projects won't be completed for another 10 to 13 years. Well, we need to take that 10 to 13 years down to 4 years and pump as many billions as we can into it, because this is something that does need to be addressed. Robert W. Mann, Jr., an aviation industry analyst who spoke to NPR earlier this week about the disruptions at Newark, expressed skepticism A new system will be built. This has been the same mantra for the past 30 years. Give them more money, they'll build the new system. It'll work better, work harder. And this is what airlines tell the FAA. This is what the FAA says they want to do each time the agency comes up for reauthorization. And we've been doing that for well over 30 years now, and we've gotten the same results. Sheldon Jacobson, a University of Illinois professor who has studied risk in aviation, says that the system works remarkably well as is, but he agrees that an upgrade is critical. Still, he points out that the pilot error accounts for 3/4 of all aviation incidents. Would improving ATC reduce that? I don't think it would. I don't agree with this guy. Oh, God. Jacobson says he also believes the administration plan isn't forward-thinking enough. There's a void there. Artificial intelligence could take on a lot of the mundane air traffic control chores now require humans, such as getting planes away from the gate. Okay. Sheldon Jacobson, I don't want to hear you ever comment on anything ever again. You're advocating for us just having an antiquated air traffic control system. But if we do improve it, you want to use AI. Oh my God. Shut the fuck up. Get out of here. I don't care what kind of professor you are. You are a lunatic. Jesus. Wow. Anyways, I think that's all I have for this video. Special shout out to Stephen Creamer. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below, and if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.